B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
But what's really interesting is the amount of investment that's gone into tech companies in Thailand over the past couple of years. In 2000, it was $437 million over 26 deals. In 2001, it was just a little bit more, $548 million over 41 deals. But last year, $1.25 billion US dollars over 38 deals. So you'll see the amount of investment that's going in there. It's big, it's growing. So if anyone's looking to come into Thailand, there's quite a lot of help. I know Chris mentioned it earlier. The British Chamber had a talk with the Digital Council of Thailand earlier on this year. And there's quite a lot available. It is difficult to work out which of the agencies to go to get it, but it just goes to show how much emphasis they're putting into thinking about incentives for digital companies.
I'm B2B Cambodia Sarvana Nuridinova. Thanks for watching. Joining us today on our platform, we have Mr. Gareth Davies, the CTO of DDX, Chair of the British Chamber of Commerce from Thailand. Thank you for being with us. You talked about opportunities and what Thailand is doing their tech startup sphere. Yep. What would you say that Thailand is doing for tech startups that Cambodia can take a look at or implement?
The needs of Cambodia will be different to Thailand. But I think any startup, technology or not, can have a lot of help from the government in terms of tax incentives, hiring incentives. I don't know what the labor law is like here, but I think that a sort of simplified labor law for startups would make things work. I talked about tax incentives on hiring staff, on buying training courses. So I think pushing companies to upskill their staff, encourage development, and allowing sort of growth of the company with a reduced tax rate would greatly benefit the startup scene.
Can you give a few top points that Thailand is doing, specifically what incentives they're doing for us?
Yeah, and I think the big one is if you want to attract foreign direct investment, you need foreign people coming here and investing in businesses. I think if you take Thailand, they did a very good job with the Board of Investment of encouraging businesses from all over the world to come and invest in their companies. Now, Thailand economy is a little bit bigger than Cambodia's, so maybe there's more of an emphasis on people to go there. But I think things like we've got a new 10-year visa, which has a flat rate income tax for individuals. That means that people are there for 10 years. They're getting a 17% tax rate, which works. Allowing digital nomads to come in, providing them a way to pay tax at a reduced rate is really good. And I think reducing corporate income tax for any company that meets the needs of Cambodia. If Cambodia is looking for life sciences or agri-tech, it should reduce corporate income tax for those.
What would be your key takeaways from the forum so far?
I think it's that everyone's singing from the same song sheet, and this is really important. Every chamber around the region should be collaborating with each other and making sure that when we go to our governments, when we go to forums and conferences, we're all talking about the same thing. In terms of content, I think Brad's talk on DIFA is, that's a game changer. If we can double the expected growth of e-commerce spend in Southeast Asia or within ASEAN using one agreement over the next 10 years, that's massive. So from $1 to $2 trillion, I think that's the big takeaway for me.
You just mentioned DIFA, and when we talk about ASEAN, we realized, and you mentioned it, that the countries are at a different level of digitalization and sizes and economy growth. Do you think, and it was mentioned that the process would be different of integration, digitalization. Do you think we'll get there, or is there a way to make sure that we get to the same level, or do you think there will always be different?
I think you're always going to have countries that are ahead, but I think what digitalization does and things like DIFA do is give countries who are perhaps behind a chance to leapfrog, because they haven't spent so much money on investment, they haven't got those sunk costs, they're not stuck where they are, they're not continuing to use a product that they've built and therefore they must use it. Therefore, there are frameworks, there are going to be digitalization guides that people can use to leapfrog. So I think if things are done properly, and David Staley was asking me earlier about interoperability, I think if interoperability can be achieved amongst the region, and maybe DIFA is a good example of that, then there's no reason why countries who are behind now can't leapfrog the countries who have already invested a lot of money.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
You've been with B2B Cambodia. I'm Sarunas Nuruddinova, and thank you for watching. Join us next time as we continue to bring you more news, updates, and developments from the business community in the Kingdom of Cambodia.